It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Welcome back. My name is Omni Flash, and in today's video I will show you exactly how to heal a mutated dungeon. This is Mutated 8, my very first Mutated 8. I will show you my build. I was actually 615 GS. A Mutated 8 requires you optimally to be 619, so I was 4 points below the average. But as a healer, as long as you are able to avoid damage, you'll be able to do it. And I'll show you just how to do that with my build and with my split of points, everything you need to know. We made this with 60,000 points. To gold this, you only need 40,000 points. Okay, you only need 40,000 points, so you can make some more mistakes. I believe you can have up to 11 deaths. You may be a healer, but you also deal damage every time you light attack. Okay, every time you light attack. So you need coatings, you need the honing stone, you also need the Angry Earth Bane, the Angry Earth trophies in your 3 houses. I recommend that heavily. Also, if you're having trouble with void damage, which is from the Oblivion mutation, you can put amethyst inside your armor. Here is my recommended build for dungeons, especially if you have ranged DPS. If you have lots of ranged DPS, Light's Embrace is going to be key. If you want to have, if you have mostly melee DPS, I recommend you to take Light's Embrace off and put in Orb of Protection, because that will apply Fortify for all of your melees. However, if you have, my team that I'm working with for this dungeon is mostly ranged, and because of that, Light's Embrace is better because I'm able to top them off. So depending on your team composition, you will either choose Mending, Orb of Protection for mostly melee teams, and Light's Embrace if it's mostly ranged teams. As for the rapier build that I showed you, my rapier build, it really doesn't have to be full 20 points. The way I leveled up my rapier, starting at like level 6, I just basically did dungeons with my rapier, and that is how I leveled up my rapier. So as long as you have Fléché, as long as you have Riposte, as long as you have Evade, those 3 skills will help you survive and kite all of the enemies inside this dungeon. While you are kiting enemies, you are basically tanking those enemies and allowing time for your DPS to kill those mobs. Alright, so for the first elite mini boss, for this archer right here, I do recommend, as Crestcore did, as he tanked, he actually aggroed only the smaller monsters and the archer. You want to get rid of the smaller monsters and the archer first, then tackle the soldier. And this way you don't have to have an archer and a soldier to keep aggro. If you're a tank, recommend you to have your team take care of the archer first before hitting the soldier. Now we are going to go for the 60 kill count multiplier, right? Once you kill 60 mobs, you'll be able to get that multiplier. The reason that we are going for the 60 monsters is for that multiplier is that if you have this, you'll have an extra ×1 multiplier, so that you'll have like a ×6 multiplier at the end of the dungeon. It will allow you to have more deaths, and then you can mess up, you can have more deaths and still be able to gold the run. Alright, so as a tank, Crestcore did an amazing job at bringing up all of the monsters to the top. This allows DPS to clear out the monsters and kite them without having to worry about aggroing even more. Okay, so this way we are able to destroy the monsters one at a time without getting overwhelmed. Now the pink silence circles is something that is good to drag. As a tank, it is good to drag all of the soldiers, all of the fiends out of the pink silent circle, so your DPS is able to deal damage faster. But if you are trying to pull out range monsters such as archers and shamans, that won't work. They won't actually run towards you unless you run extremely far away. So mostly if you're a tank, you want to pull melee monsters towards outside of the circles. But if you are fighting range monsters, you probably just have to stay there and fight inside those circles. The circles don't deal a ton of damage. They do a small burst of damage after the white bar on the top goes to 0. So it is perfectly fine to just light attack, heavy attack inside the pink circles until they start glowing. Then you get out so you don't get that damage burst. Another way for you to survive the void spikes that you get from Oblivion Mutation is that you can use a topaz gypsum potion. Topaz gypsum potions do give void resist. Alright, now we go to the first boss. The first boss isn't that hard. What's more difficult is the Oblivion perk that this mutation gives it. Alright, so in many ways, the little mini bosses are harder than the main bosses for this dungeon. Standing where I am, I can usually see who will be spiked next. And if I see that they're about to get spiked, I ready my Light's Embrace and I cast it. Simply because most likely they will need that heal. Light's Embrace has a very short cast time. It's like 3 seconds for me. And all I gotta do is hit the boss with my Wills of Ancient, and it comes up almost instantly. Now, if you get spiked just like that, be sure to heal yourself. That is the first priority. And not to jump into someone else's spike. So if you are close to one of your teammates, be very careful where you dodge too, because you could dodge into their spike. One more important thing for doing these bosses is to be sure that you're always moving. I recommend to be moving probably left or right, clockwise or counterclockwise, and just dodging whenever there is a purple circle underneath you. Also, you want to make sure that you're putting your healing circles such as Sacred Ground and also your beacons at where the fight will be. You don't want to just lock onto the tank or one of the DPSs and lay your Sacred Ground or wherever when they get hit. What you want to do is put down your Sacred Ground with Fortify and your beacon wherever the fight will be. Okay, if they're fighting there, they're going to be healed, and if one of your DPSs gets hit, when they go back into the fight, they will be healed while fighting. What you would do is use Light's Embrace to top them up so that they can survive in that fight. Coming up next, you have an archer and a hive. We're going to destroy the hive quickly, and then the smaller monsters, and then kill the archer. At the beginning of the dungeon, you do want to get everyone some blight potions, just in case if they blight, we don't have to slow down and trade them a blight potion. One thing about the hives is the little monsters that they generate. They don't count as kills. The hive itself is the kill. The little monsters don't count as kills, so you can't actually repeatedly kill the 3 small monsters that spawn to get your 60 kills. You have to kill that hive fast or you'll be wasting your time. After this, we have 2 more small little Genesis fiends, as well as the strongest, toughest boss in the game, and it's Gorgiri. Gorgiri is a shaman, super strong, because after the shaman gets to like about 50%, if you stop attacking him, he can heal himself all the way back up. Also, once he raises his staff into the air, be ready for him to slam that staff down. and do a really powerful AoE effect. So you want to dodge out of that, or if your tank has the fortifying defense shield on, he can allow the melees to tank with that 30% fortify. That's what I usually do on this boss. I provide the 30% fortify from blocking on the boss, and also you have fortify from sacred ground. With 40% damage reduction, you might be able to actually melee and kill this boss without it one-shotting you with the 40% fortify. All right, so Nargic, which is a Void Gauntlet user with nullifying Oblivion, it's very strong for this dungeon as well, because a lot of times these monsters also fortify themselves. By using nullifying Oblivion, it empowers your team inside the nullifying Oblivion. Also, it removes the fortify that the monsters give themselves. Once you get here where you have to plant the tree and protect it, you should in fact kill the 2 soldiers. Try to destroy each of the soldiers one by one, because the soldiers have this Path of Destiny attack and a stomp attack, a shockwave attack. They can almost one hit most DPS. Alright, as a healer, this rock that I'm standing on will be the rock that will save your life more than ever. Whenever there's a mob that is trying to attack you, just jump on top of the rock. If there's an archer trying to shoot you, just get behind the rock, and the archer most likely will miss you and hit the rock instead. Right now, I have a soldier on me. With a soldier on me, I use my rapier to get away, and I can heal again. And this way, the soldier, once he gets back closer to the tank can grab aggro. And right now I'm basically tanking the soldier and the smaller mobs, and they aren't doing damage to my tank or my DPS. One thing that you can do is when the silent circles are about to go down, jump off of your rock. This way you can continue to heal on top of your rock. When protecting the tree, your tank and DPS really wants to step back from the tree. Once the mobs clump up on the tree, the tank can use an AoE taunt. Grab the monsters away from the tree, then your DPS goes in to kill them. If you stun them on top of the tree, it will be harder for the tank to contain aggro away from the tree. So you don't really want to start attacking the monsters until the tank has obtained aggro away from the tree. So you can see how Crestcore is standing right there. Okay, Crestcore is standing right there. He's waiting for the monsters to all clump up, and from that location, he can use his AoE taunts. Crestcore is Sword and Shield and Hammer tank, which his shockwave will allow him to contain aggro, and his Sword and Shield can give him aggro also. It's very important that as a tank you will have an offhand that also taunts. Alright, I just realized that I am actually using medium armor in this dungeon simply because I tank as well as heal as well as DPS. In order to do that, you want to be able to just level up one set at first, right? So I am actually doing this dungeon with mostly heavy armor and 2 pieces of light armor. On my light armor, I have Revitalizing Beacon and also Fortifying Sacred Ground. So on those 2 pieces, this way I just have to level up one set of heavy armor, and then I can slot in other pieces of armor, just 2 other pieces, and I am able to both tank and heal. I also recommend that you level up Conjury first. This way you can do everything inside a dungeon. That's why I have a con necklace, con earrings, con ring. For my necklace, it is con with divine and health. You can also go for purify and health. For my ring, it is sacred hardy. If I want to DPS, I can go with keen awareness, hardy leeching, those type of things. But I recommend that you get con. This way you can change your weapon type. For earrings, any type of refreshing toast, nimble, any of the purifying toast, all of those are extremely well. I personally am using a refreshing toast nimble earring, also for con. I can use it with basically any build. Once my set for tanking is 625, I'll be upping my light armor set for healing. I actually prefer light armor healing. If you light armor heal and you feel that you're taking too much damage, it's because you're not dodging right, okay? You don't have your rapier, you're not getting away from danger. What you can do as a healer is you can kite the monsters, providing your DPS extra protection. The less damage that your DPS are taking, the more it's pretty much like healing. It's just you're an extra tank. You're ninja, an evasion tank. We're coming on for the caretaker. That's the first major boss. For the caretaker, there are several different ways to do the caretaker, depending on how strong your DPS is. Now this is an M8, and our DPS is good, but to be safe, we are actually going to do it where the tank solos inside the cage arena twice, okay? After the 2 arenas, we will destroy the boss. Now, if you have superior DPS, you can try to just let the tank solo one time and then have everyone get inside the arena and burst it down the second time inside the arena. But we are going to do 1-4 twice, just to be safe so that you don't wipe. Having wipes inside the mutated dungeon will almost guarantee that you lose gold, okay? It's almost guarantees that you lose gold simply because of the time that you wasted trying to do the boss will prevent you from getting it done in 35 minutes. Secondly, that wipe costs you a ton of points. So it's okay for your members to go down, but it's not okay for your entire team to go down. So we're doing it safe. 1-4, which is basically tank in, and he will solo the boss twice. While the tank is inside, the healer can actually heal him with Light's Embrace and Fortified Sacred Ground. All you have to do is scroll to the tank, and you can drop Sacred Grounds onto the tank even though there is a wall in between you. If you're not able to scroll to the tank, what you want to do is go into your healing settings and turn on group healing mode. So you want to heal only your group so that you can scroll. You can scroll and target your group. Also, when the tank is inside, as soon as the wall goes up, the boss inside will actually have a new stamina bar, a yellow stamina bar. It will require 4 heavy sword attacks from the tank to break that boss so that it doesn't automatically AoE wipes the entire team. So be sure that the tank is ready with a sword to heavy 4 times. After the tank heavies the boss 4 times, he will then switch to his offhand to destroy the mushroom. The mushroom, when the mushroom's destroyed, I believe it empowers the team to deal more damage. This way your DPS can kill the adds faster. Alright, so even if the walls come down, all DPS should focus on killing adds. The tank will focus on holding the boss. Everyone should be using the side of their eye to watch the boss, so that whenever the boss reaches down, it has an ultimate attack where it brings up a black skull and throws it very long distance, and that black skull can hit you 3 times and actually kill you instantly. So be sure to dodge out of the way. Don't dodge forward or backwards. Be sure to dodge sideways. Alright, this time, once again, the tank is inside and soloing the boss. All 3 DPS and healers will come to this location where the mobs will spawn first, and then continue clockwise as the mobs will continue to spawn clockwise. If your DPS is still a little bit low, then you might want to try to kite the monsters also just a little bit, so that they don't deal too much damage and one-shot you. So far, damage is pretty good. The third group of monsters is a little bit tougher. Each group of monsters gets a little bit stronger. Like this third group has soldiers and prowlers in it. I do recommend that you do these mutations with comms. Like right now it has the death skull. If a DPS is focused on killing some of the smaller mobs, they might not see the death skull. So if you have comms, I recommend that anybody who sees the skull coming to warn everyone to dodge. The black skull attack is the one thing that you have to be afraid. It can wipe out multiple players at a time. After this boss stops, you want to try to burst it down, and pretty much without the ads, the boss is easy to destroy. The Caretaker is an incredible boss. It drops some of the best items in the game. The Caretaker drops the infamy best in slot musket. It drops also almost a very good ice gauntlet called the Winter Wish. It also drops a very best in slot earring, a strength earring for strength DPS called the Doom's Chance. Alright, so if you get to this point and you destroy this boss at around 20 minutes, you are on schedule, okay? So that's one thing. If you can take out the Caretaker by about the 20-minute mark, you're on schedule. You will be able to still get gold. So Nargic believes that we are actually having kind of slow DPS, so we will be forced to kill 60 mobs since we will pass the 35 marker. He thinks so. So we are going to come in and destroy the hive. Another way that you can do this boss is for someone like the tank to go in and to aggro the mini boss called Circes and to drag him back outside of the room so you don't have to kill the hive. But that would require you to be able to finish the dungeon in 35 minutes. This is sort of a safe way, so you will be able to not have to hit the 35-minute mark and still get gold. One DPS will get the fire in order to open the doors. Notice that the tank is actually aggroing not the entire room, but just enough mobs so that our team is able to handle you want your tank to be able to judge the ability of the team and know how many mobs to pull. Now we are going to clear out this whole entire room, but we won't need to go get the hidden room. There's another hidden room besides the respawn crystal with a shaman boss. You'll be able to hit the 8 name monsters without taking out the shaman boss, so we can skip that. But we are still going to have to take out 60 random monsters. So we're skipping the hidden boss. Pretty sure we got the crystal, but since Crestcore says that he needs to get a crystal, might as well do it since he's coming here anyways. Now we pull the soldier out. Now soldiers are really strong. They're basically mini bosses by themselves. See that? One hit almost killed me. Soldiers do have that Path of Destiny type attack. Normally on the ground there will be hives, but we cleared those out at the beginning of the dungeon, thus making it a little bit more simple as we run through. Your team should probably follow the tank. Everyone has a slightly different way of running Genesis. This was just one particular very secure way to run it. Right then I had aggro on the archer, so this way basically you can heal, and if the archer aggro's on you again, I would just jump behind that pillar and that pillar will protect me from archers. Now you can actually see rain of arrows before it lands. If you see the rain of arrows, quickly dodge out of it. Now I can sort of feel like an archer is still aggroed onto me, so I'm running behind this post. Just this way I just know that the archer is going to have to chase me in order to attack me. Now I have aggro on a prowler and archer. Just keep moving, keep dodging. A good way is to aggro the prowler and the soldier separately. You want to kill the prowler and the soldier before attacking the mini boss. You don't want to attack all of them at the same time. You can pull them out away from the mini boss with a range attack. Once the prowler and soldier are dead, go in and take out the mini boss. The person holding the flame will go open the door, and after he opens the door, there will be archer guarding a flame bowl, right? So you wait for the archer to turn around, and you can sneak behind the archer to light the flame. You don't want to aggro an archer to your team who's already fighting the mini boss. And your team can come and destroy the archer afterwards. All right. I guess we're skipping Baldur. We're just going to Fugda, the archer. If you take out the archer here, Baldur won't see you. And then you can go back and clean up Baldur. You don't want to accidentally aggro both at the same time. It's very it will make life a little harder for your healer and DPS if you have both bosses, the soldier and the archer. Now you will have to also kill both of these mini bosses in order to get the 8 named monsters. If you did the hidden shaman boss back by the spawn point, you can skip Baldur, the soldier mini boss. Alright, so now we get to the last boss. This is the Greenskeeper. It will take you about approximately 4 minutes to take care of her. You want to make sure your whole team is across the bridge before you start the boss, because after you start the boss, the bridge will disappear. If you have any teammates still on the bridge, they will drop down, and you will have to fight the boss with one less person. As a healer, I recommend you not to directly stand behind the tank, or you will get hit by that poison breath attack. You want to stay a pretty safe distance away from her and be ready to dodge. Drop your sacred grounds on top of the tank, and if she starts shooting green lines of poison at you, be sure to dodge out on the edge. Give beacon to your DPS so that they can top off and get healed as well. Light's Embrace is extremely powerful, very strong. When the boss charges you, get ready to dodge. DPS will want to take out the 2 ads that she spawns when she starts going underground. If you are ranged, you don't want to stand too close to the edge. This way, her rocks will be in the middle and you'll be able to hide behind the rocks when she screams. If you're melee range DPS, be sure to be prepared to dodge if your tank loses aggro. If you're ranged DPS, be prepared to run out of the circles. And to dodge when she charges you. Yeah, you take quite a lot of damage if you get hit by her. Now, when she raises her arms up and screams, make sure that you get behind a rock. If you get screamed, you are permanently down. Someone cannot pick you up. If you get screamed and downed, whenever someone picks you up, you would respawn at the crystal. You will never get up. So if someone gets screamed down, there's no use to try to pick them up. All right, so be sure to try to get the poison away from your rocks and from your team. All right, we just have a minute and a half left. Gotta take her down to get 2,000 umbral shards. I also have a video show you how many deaths you can actually have on an M9 and still get gold. Also, you are able to get 4,000 umbral shards when you bronze a mutated 10. So you can actually use mutated 10s to level up your guildmates, your friends very easily. I'll show you that in another video. If you want to see those videos on how to power level the umbral shards for your friends in M10, go ahead and comment below, like and subscribe so you know when the next video is coming out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.